Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I'm going to share with you how I did with my 2021 reading goals. Okay, so last probably December, I shared with you guys some of my reading goals, and I kept track of them this year in my bullet journal. I will be doing a complete flip through of my bullet journal later in the week, but for today, I'm just going to be referencing this as we go through what my goals were. I'm also going to be talking about my 2021 TBR as well and how I did with that. So let's actually start with my 2021 TBR. My plan of attack in 2021 was to pick 10 different cover buys that I wanted to read. I think I had 3 middle grade, 3 YA, 3 adult, and 1 nonfiction. That's kind of how it all broke down. I did okay on this. I tend to cover buy stuff a lot. I just like the cover. I pick up things that nobody's ever really heard of before, and I wanted to start reading some of those books. And so that's why I chose to do it this way. Of the 10 books, I read and completed 5. I DNF'd 1. And then 4 of them I did not read. 2 of the ones that I did not read, I'm going to be unhauling. And so that's kind of the way that it broke down. Of the 10 though, the 5 that I read, only 1 of them did I decide to keep after I had read it. So guys, I don't know. It was not the greatest of TBRs, let's say that. The first one that I read though was Echo's Sister. This was a story about a girl whose sister is terminally ill. She's diagnosed with cancer right at the beginning of the book, and so it's just kind of about life. The life of a sibling of a terminally sick child, and it was good. It was fine. I just didn't feel the need to keep it. The one on this list that I read that I kept is Rooftoppers. I actually didn't particularly care for this book, but I have Catherine Rundell's entire collection, and so I'm just gonna keep it. I like the cover. It's attractive. The book was just okay for me. It was kind of meh, to be completely honest. Apparently there is a magnetic tag in it, so that's fun. But yeah, so was not a hit, but I did decide to keep it. This is actually set in France, I believe. It's about an orphan girl who's taken in by an older gentleman, and she's trying to find her mom, and I think all she has to go on is a cello case, something along. I honestly, I don't even really remember it. The other one that I read that I DNF'd was History of Bees. This one was just not good. It was very slow. There wasn't really a huge point to it. I don't know. Another one that I read that I DNF'd right away is The Mermaid. This one I remember is by Christina Henry. And this one had no plot. Like, I got to the end of the book and I was just like, why did I even read this? There was no character development. There was no plot. It was a completely pointless book. So that one got unhauled right away. And then the last one that I read that I really enjoyed, I just didn't see myself ever reading it again, is I Will Always Write Back. That was my nonfiction book, and it was about a African boy and an American girl that become pen pals like in high school, and it's just kind of about like their friendship through college and that sort of thing. And so that one was really interesting, but I didn't feel the need to keep it. So the other 4 books that were on my list were, sorry, I have them here. The Greenies by Myra Paperney. I did start this one, but I didn't get very far into it, and it's written very simply. It's about teenagers after World War II, and it's written very like middle grade. Oops, there went my bookmark. Very middle grade-esque, and so I don't know, it just kind of threw me off because it's about teenagers, so I thought it would be like more YA, and it is just written very basic. So I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this one or get rid of it yet. We'll see. One that I have decided I'm just going to unhaul is The Alphabet Sisters by Monica McInerney. This is one that I got this from Goodwill years ago. I have probably had this on my bookshelf for 5 years at least, and it has been on multiple TBRs, and I just have never read it. And so I'm just going to get rid of it. It's about 3 sisters who were like singing stars, childhood singing stars, and then they're estranged and then they come back together, and I don't know. I never reach for it. Another one that I definitely will be keeping and reading eventually is Before We Were Free by Julia Alvarez. This is the only one that I was really bummed that I didn't get to. This is the one that I'm the most interested in reading. And then the last one that was on the list was Never Ever, which I had in my previous unhaul. So that one's, I got rid of it as well. So that's how I did on my TBR. And then let's talk about my goals now. I also had 10 different goals that I had set for this past year, and they're all listed here. The first of which was to reread the Lunar Chronicles, which I did. If you've been following my channel, you will have known that I finished in November, so August. Sorry, I had to like count backwards. Starting in August, I read one each month. And I also read Fairest. I did not read Stars Above, and I did not reread the graphic novels, but I'm okay with that. My next goal was to read through the Artemis Fowl series. I did not do this. I read one more book. The beginning of the year, I had read the first one. I really liked it. That's why I made the goal. And then I read the second one, and it was just okay for me. And honestly, I think I'm just going to quit the series. I just don't feel a huge pull to finish it. I'm sure it's fine. I just have other things I would rather read. My third goal was to start the Outlander series. I did that. Also not going to be continuing that series. It was too graphic for my taste. But I did read the first book. My next goal was to read 12 books out loud with my kids. Last year we homeschooled, and we were in a really good rhythm of reading out loud. We had a really good schedule. And then this year my kids went back to school, so it was starting in September. It just kind of all flew out the window. I have 2 kids now in middle school, and schedules are just too crazy to have like family read aloud time consistently. And so I still read, like, they read, I read, we talk about books, it's all good. But unfortunately, I only read out loud 8 books to them in the first half of the year. So when the kids were still home and through the beginning of the summer just a little bit, we did 8 books, and then once school started, we quit doing that. My next goal was to read 20 nonfiction books. I read 15, which is not great. Like, I really wanted to hit that 20 mark, and I just was not reaching for nonfiction apparently this year. So hopefully this upcoming year, 2022, will be better at that, because I think I made the same goal of reading 20 nonfiction books again this year. I had a goal to read 5 thrillers, and I counted anything spooky in this. So like, I read The Winter People. I counted that, even though that's not considered a thriller, just because it's kind of in that direction, headed toward getting me out of my comfort zone. But I read 3, and they were all just fine. So I think I just don't love thrillers. Maybe I need to read like a really good one, because I seem to just be picking up mediocre ones. Okay, and then my next goal was to read 5 tomes, which is anything over 500 pages. I did do that. I read over 5. I just have my 5 marked off on here, so I don't know exactly how many I read, but I know I read at least 5 of those. So that one was accomplished. I had a goal to read 5 middle grade classics. I did not do great on this. I read 2. I read Pinocchio, and I read The Secret Garden, and that was it. So massively failed that goal. I also had a goal to unhaul my books quarterly, and I did that, and I posted those. I will not be posting unhauls in the future, but I am continuing to purge my shelves regularly. And then my last goal was to read slower, and in my journal, I just wrote meh next to it. I don't think I actually completed that very well, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So, my reading goals are not anything that I'm going to get stressed out over. Really, I write them down and then at the end of the year, I go through like Goodreads and my reading log and everything, and just kind of see where things were at. It's not like I was documenting it or like really staying on top of it and like making sure I hit each of them. I'm not here to be all stressed out about it. It's just, it'd be really cool if I was able to do that and kind of focus on things like that, like with the thrillers and the middle grade classics and stuff. I really honestly did not focus on my goals this year, which, you know, it is what it is. But I did have a decent reading year. I did not have a great reading year. We'll get into that in another video. This upcoming week, I'm going to be posting my favorites of the year, my middle grade favorites of the year. I'm going to be talking stats with you, kind of go through all of my reading stats, year in review, be doing my bullet journal flip through. All of kind of the year end content will be coming up this week. And so definitely keep your eye out for that. But just kind of wanted to kick things off with, these were my goals for the year. Did I hit them? Most of them I at least did decent on. And some of them I'm okay with it. So like the Artemis Fowl thing, I read one of them and kind of just realized I'm just not gonna do it. So that's fine. And then some of them I was really successful at, like unhauling and things like that. So it's fine. I'm happy with the way that things all turned out. And then with my TBR, like I realized that a lot of those books just were not good. They just weren't. So I'm still holding out hope for this one, Before We Were Free. I've heard good things about it, and this is my I'm really holding out hope that this is going to be a good one, but I think the other ones that I didn't read, I'm just going to end up getting rid of. So anyway, that's kind of where things ended on my annual TBR and annual goals from last year. How did you do on your goals? Let me know. Am I the only one that just failed at my goals and TBR? Because I feel like that sometimes, I just cannot get my stuff together enough to get things done. But yeah, let me know if you set goals and how you did on them. And let me know some of your goals for this upcoming year if you didn't already on my goals for this upcoming year video, which I will link down below what my goals for this upcoming year are going to be. And yeah, I'm just going to stop rambling now. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.